Okay, today I'm talking about Everquest 2, and I'm I'm really wanting to make a video about Everquest 2 because I've played Project 1999 quite a bit, and I played P99 a lot because I felt like the challenge, and I guess in a certain way, a type of depth was missing from a lot of current MMOs, and I really enjoyed the way in EverQuest 1 in back in 1999 how you started out and you started from scratch. You had no good weapons, no good gear. You just built your character up, and then you built your alt characters up, and it just went on and on. And it was really just because of the challenge of it. You got real satisfaction from defeating enemies and leveling up. It wasn't easy, and I I know EverQuest 2 wasn't made to be like EverQuest 1. It was a very casual oriented game. It came out when World of Warcraft came out. And World of Warcraft, trying to launch an MMO against World of Warcraft, it was like trying to launch a new movie uh, at the same time as Star Wars The Force Awakens. You were just going to get crushed, and it's really unfortunate because I definitely believe EverQuest 2 was flawed in a lot of ways. The biggest flaw EverQuest 2 had was really, in my opinion, its graphics engine. It was not optimized well, and it runs fine now, but this is on a PC that's pretty. I wouldn't call it cutting edge, but it's in pretty good shape for 2016. And for a game that was released over 10 years ago, it just didn't run very well, and it really hampered EverQuest 2's popularity and acceptance by gamers. And what's unfortunate about it is they the game was so geared towards casual gameplay, and early on it didn't have going for it the kind of depth that it does now, and especially, well, it was early on. It started getting expansions, and the expansions greatly increased the depth of the game. And what I mean by the depth is in character customization and how deep it goes. Diablo 2 is basically the standard in a lot of ways for a lot of people when it comes to character customization in an RPG or an action RPG. Now, I'm an action RPG type of person, and I enjoy mainly just combat, teamwork, grouping, uh, just the fight, and building a character that's fun to use in a fight. And what EverQuest 2 introduced a bit later on was alternate advancement, which was in EverQuest 1. It didn't show up until a few expansions in. It was actually Shadows of Lucklin. But in EverQuest 2, it came out quite a while after the game had launched. And I have a feeling when alternate advancement did finally show up, a lot of gamers had already passed EverQuest 2 by. It was just like when you release a movie, you make most of your money in the first weekend or two. And it was the same way for EverQuest 2. Because it didn't grab people right away, it wound up losing out to World of Warcraft. And I mean, really, because of the graphical engine uh, Brad McQuaid and his crew decided to use, that probably is what hurt EverQuest 2 the most. But anyway, because we're in the present day and your computer should be able to run EverQuest 2 just fine, I wanted to highlight what is great about EverQuest 2 and why it deserves, even now, the attention of a lot of players because it has a depth of character customization which rivals and definitely exceeds Diablo 2 and is actually more on par with Path of Exile, which the developers of Path of Exile recognized how much people enjoyed character customization when it comes to combat, abilities, spells, being able to really go in depth and build a custom character. So I want to get to it right away. What it was is called alternate advancement, and what it did was it gave you a number of different trees that you could invest your experience into. Now this is just basic. Each race has basic abilities that you can tap into by committing alternate advancement points into. This, like for example right here, Delir's Fighting Stance increases your skills with crushing and slashing base weapons. It wouldn't do a shaman any good because, well, actually it would, I guess, if you're using a crushing weapon, but I plan on using a spear, so it wouldn't really do me much good, but it's definitely one place where you can start to hone your character into what you want it to be. But I'm going to jump right down here to alternate advancement, and here's how it works. When you get to level 10, alternate advancement opens up for you. And this is the experience bar for alternate advancement. Now you can come over here and you can set the percentage of experience you want to commit towards alternate advancement. So really what I found, I played Everquest 2 about 6 years ago, and what I found was the best way to do it was to go straight to, once you got to level 10, go straight to alternate advancement conversion and put it up to 100%. While EXP is easy to get, while the experience just flows at low levels, go ahead and pick up alternate advancement skills that you really want to beef up on right away, and get some of those skills going before you keep leveling up. It just makes your character more fun. It's what's great about EverQuest 2. So anyway, because I'm looking at a shaman right here, and I chose the shaman, the mystic. The shaman class in EverQuest 2 is divided into two categories. You can be a mystic or a defiler, and I chose a mystic because it represents the closest representation in EverQuest 2 to the original shaman in EverQuest 1. Now, my first point I can put into of alternate advancement, I can put into Summon Spirit Companion. This is the wolf pet. It's a spirit wolf, just like you had in EverQuest 1, but now you can improve it in different ways. And it'll depend how you improve. Yeah, how you improve your pet is going to depend on how you want to play. Do you want to be a solo player? Well, there's skills that you would put your points into to be a better solo player. If you want to group, there's some very group-oriented spells that would work really good towards a group. So I'll just give you an example. Okay, right here is Leg Bite. Leg Bite, all it is an attack that does a damage over time effect. Cool, no problem. If you're soloing, yes, that might be a critical ability. It's free DPS. Yeah, you might want to pump it up. But let's just say you want to be a grouping character. You really want to group. Aura of Haste. Your group receives an increase in combat attack speed while near your pet. So now when I join a group, as I put points into Aura of Haste, all the melees in my group are going to have increased attack speed while my pet is close to them, which I'm sure the pet radius or the radius of effect of the pet haste is reasonable enough to where if you send your pet at a target, the melees attacking it are going to receive the benefit of the haste. Now, if I'm planning on soloing, maybe I really don't care about a group haste buff, and I'm really wanting to just burn a mob down and just not have to invest points into it. But here is where EverQuest 2 is great to me, is it allows you the choice to customize your character. And this is just one tree right here, okay? There's more. I've got Phalanx, an attack that roots the target in place on a successful hit. Okay, so really, whether you're soloing or if you're grouped, a root / crowd control ability on your pet, which is free for the pet to cast, that's a pretty good ability to have. Here again, now, do you want to put 10 points into it? 1 point? What do you want to do? It has a 7-second duration. Do you want to pump it up? It gives you lots of choices of customization. And now right here it says points in Shaman Advancement was 100 of 100. I'm not sure why it has 100 of 100. I'm pretty sure it just means that Once you get to 100, you're capped off. You can't put any more than 100 points into this particular tree. So that forces a decision on your part. I mean, what if you look over here and you go, oh, Scourge, dispels beneficial effects from an enemy. For each one removed, the target suffers disease damage. So I've got a debuff and damage ability. Do I want to pump it up and make myself a better caster? You know, that's just part of the whole customization that goes into it. And I don't know of really very many MMOs, any mainstream MMOs I've played, where you have as much depth. And this is just one tree. I'm going to go to the next one here, Mystic. So I go over here. Now I've got all these other abilities. How good all of them are, I don't know. But I look at Enhanced Spirit of Wolf. Increases the movement speed and adds a safe fall component to Spirit of the Wolf. 1 point increases out of combat movement speed by 4%. I can put a total of 5 points into it. If running faster out of combat, travel is important to you, yeah, you would want to put 5 points into Spirit of Wolf. You're going to have to earn those points of experience. You're going to have to grind for them, but it's up to you. I mean, I come over here, Plaguish Strike. As an alternative to Plague, you can use Plaguish Strike as a melee attack. Inflicts disease damage, and then it inflicts a DOT damage on top of it. So this goes back to how do you want to play your character? Is the base run speed increase of Spirit of Wolf enough for you? Or do you want to run as fast as you possibly can in between fights? Or are you more concerned about how much damage you do in a fight? I mean, it's a pretty big decision to make. I mean, everybody loves to be able to run faster, but when it comes down to it, don't you want to do more damage in a fight? It's that, where do I go? It's the direction you take, the way you turn your character, the way you push your alternate advancement in a direction that makes EverQuest 2 very, very deep. And here again, there's another tree. Now, I believe a few of these trees don't open up until you get to higher level. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't played EQ2 in a long time, so I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like if I remember right, a few of these don't open up until you get to like level 55 or something. I could be totally wrong, but I believe that is how it'll work. But I've got another tree over here, and there's another tree over here. And then besides pure combat skills, there's trade skill trees as well. So how do you want to use your character? How do you want to spend your time in the game? Do you want to be a tradesman? Do you want to be better at producing uh, trade products? Maybe you're going to go into the trade skill tree and push it up. It's definitely a deeper level of gameplay opportunities and directions you can take compared to most MMOs. And it's a feature of EverQuest 2 that was just seems to me, as far as the media coverage and what you generally hear about a game, it seems to be like a whole feature inside of EverQuest 2 that just wasn't exposed and really put in front of players as, wow, this is a true gamer's game. Um, so I've not I don't know where all these trees go. I really don't. I haven't played EverQuest 2 in a long time, so I wish I could tell you more. But obviously there's huge amounts of depth going on in here, and you can't max out every single tree. You have to make choices, and that's really what I'm spotlighting here. Is just the amount of options open to you and the kind of, I believe, in-depth character customization that people of all types of gamers generally are role-playing type gamers, but a lot of gamers really enjoy. But besides alternate advancement, there is one more feature request I want to show you. Okay, so this is my spell book, and let's take a look at Plague here. Now, Plague is a DOT spell. It inflicts disease damage over time. Now, I wish I could arrow up to the top of the box, but if you look up to the top where it says Plague, right next to it in parentheses it says Apprentice. Well, when you level up to the ability to, let's say, level 5, then you get Plague at level 5. You don't have to go out and buy Plague. You don't have to train in it. It just populates in your spellbook. But what you get is the weakest version of that spell, which is the Apprentice level. Now, you can raise the level from Apprentice to Journeyman in upgrades. Well, what it does is once you get to level 20, you can go to your spell book. You can go, okay, I want Plague to be better. And you can hit research. And what research does is over a period of hours, like real life, real time hours, 5, 6, 11, 12 hours. I can't remember how long it is. I wish I could tell you, but over a period of real life hours, it will gradually, a progress bar will show up here, and it will gradually research the next level of power to the spell, which is, in this case, is going to be Journeyman. And there's 4 or 5 levels of power to every single spell. So Plague starts at Apprentice, but you can research and build it all the way up to what's called Master level, which is the most powerful rank of the spell. So at Master, instead of doing 3 points of damage, it might do 6. It might do 12. I don't know how much it multiplies by, but it gets significantly stronger. But as you're playing the game and leveling up, you have to make choices. You have to go, okay, Rejuvenation is a heal spell. Do you want to be a healer? Okay, so if you do, you're going to want to apply research towards Rejuvenation and push it up in levels. Now, what's really great about EverQuest 2 is besides being able to research spells, here there is an inscription ability where players can craft scrolls for spells, and as you get better at inscription, you can create higher level spell scrolls. So what people do is they'll make Valium Wind's Master level spell. They'll put it up for sale in the auction house. That makes it available for you to just buy the most powerful version of the spell, crafted by another player, scribe it, and have it, and not have to wait for research to research it. And I'm pretty sure research will not take you all the way up to Master. It goes from Apprentice to Journeyman. I can't remember the next level, but it'll let you upgrade a spell a few levels, but it won't let you get to Master. I'm pretty sure you actually either have to craft a Master level spell yourself, or you have to buy the scroll from somebody else off the auction house. But either way, it's really neat because let's just say I have Valium Winds, I get it at level 4, whatever, and if I upgrade it to Master, I might have a more powerful version of Valium Winds than the Apprentice version of Valium Winds when I get Valium Winds 2 at, say, level 10. I don't know if that's making any sense, but basically the Master level of a spell can be more powerful than the next upgrade to that spell that you're going to get in the next, 4, 6, 8 levels, whatever it is. But again, it comes to how are you going to invest your character? How are you going to invest your time, your research, your money towards buying spell scrolls? And if I want to play a DPS type of Shaman Mystic, then obviously I'm going to want to go into Valium Winds or Plague, my damage abilities. If I want to focus towards healing, I'm going to pump up Rejuvenation and Ritual Healing. And the same goes for Alternate Advancement. I have abilities that are going to benefit my heal spells. This is a cure, cure 2. Let's see, Circle of the Ancients. Yeah, it turns it into an attack. Adds an additional word to cure when the target is below 30% health. So there's a lot I can do in here as well as in the other trees to focus my character, and I can increase resurrection range. It all goes back to how I want to focus my character, but obviously because I'm committing experience or a percentage of my experience towards the alternate advancement points, then I have to, again, you have to focus. You have to know what direction you want to take your character. And what's great is it's not like in EverQuest where all classes were cookie cutter. You got the best spells, you got the best armor, and you were essentially the same across the board. A Shadow Knight who's level 60 and he's rated every raid target. He's gotten all of his top level spells. He's got the best armor you can get. He's going to be exactly the same as the Shadow Knight next to him who got the best of every ability. Where in EverQuest 2, you could have two completely different Shadow Knights depending on how the characters wanted to invest and orient their alternate advancement and spell abilities. And that's, again, that is the depth of EverQuest 2 that I feel like has been overlooked. I wanted to shine a light on, and if anybody the few people who watch my channel or checks out my videos, I want to just say, look, if you haven't tried EverQuest 2, there is a much deeper game than what's immediately apparent in the game itself. So anyway, that's really all I've got for today, and I just wanted to share what I believe is a great game, and a game that's been overlooked and hasn't been tried by enough players. So anyway, give EverQuest 2 a shot. It's free to play. You can definitely get far enough into it before you know whether or not you want to actually put any real money into it. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching.